whenever I personally see any product that harkens back to the Whittaker era now, it's so anachronistic to me. It's like, what's that? Who's that? What? Because it makes no sense from a financial point of view as somebody who's running an intellectual property, as somebody who's trying to market and to broaden and to repair the brand and expand it, to have that reminder every now and again. Like there was one of the BBC audio originals. They've done one of those set in the Whittaker era. And so when you go and you search those, because I was looking to see the range, because obviously our friend Will Hadcroft, he's got a second one coming out later this year. So I went to look.
Oh, I'm really happy to hear it.
You can get the exclusive on that over on the Type 40 channel. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago on the podcast for a show called Plant.
I remember going, I said exactly the same thing.
It's called Plant Life. So go and find that. But but I went looking there, and you see all these covers, and you think, that one looks. And then in the dead center of it, there's this one with the Whittaker on it, and it just looks like it just doesn't belong. It's really anachronistic. Weird.
And they work so hard to legitimize it. By the way, I was very. This is the reason I bought this series. And I'm loving their new release policy of like $10 a month for one disc.
Makes much more sense.
Well, the difference is we don't have money like we used to. We used to be able to drop $30-$40. Now we can drop 10 if we're lucky. I noticed over Sabbath I was reading a copy of SFX from like 2013, and oh man, it was all super excited because Disney just bought Star Wars and like, this is going to be the greatest ever, right? Like we all thought. But the thing that blew me away was the number of ads that are in the magazine, which you just don't have anymore, right? Anyway, I'm very glad they are continuing with Jonathan Carey's War Doctor, even though
I wouldn't say this is a genius, but I think the craftiness of this at this precise time is just as you've said, to restructure it and to offer them at this price point. It's almost enough that they could be an impulse buy. I think 10 quid is still a lot of money in some respects, but it's the 10
magazine.
Yeah, exactly. So you look to yourself, you think, $10.99. Maybe I've got a bit more this week than I thought I was going to have, or I've got a bit more left over at the end of the month. I'll buy that $10.99, $11.99. It's cool. It's going to add more to my life at this moment than it's going to cost me. I'm not going to be looking at my bank statement and think, what was that 40 quid for? Oh, yeah, that box set that I've only listened to half of. This is something that I actually want.
Yeah, you get to ease in gently. This new pricing structure makes me want to buy the Star Cops one that's going on as well now. And mainly because they have good covers. I mean, tell you the truth. Yep. So anyway, with this we have Morbius Rises. This is part of the Dark Gallifrey series. Do we have the little video for it? So they released information about this, and we know it's gonna have Morbius, War Doctor, War Master. Who else is there? Meddling Monk, probably Meddling Nun. I think is confirmed.
Oh God.
Which I'm like, I'm skipping those discs. It's like, oh God, it's so badly cut. See, that's something that Suze Kepner could have actually have done. You needed you need somebody who has a comedy background to play the meddling monk. But like, no, let's just get anyone who has a vagina, right? Which basically what it's like nails on a chalkboard. I think misses it, but I think they're bringing in the 11. All the bad guys. Anyway, so the first box set, not box set, the first minis. It's a bunch of 3-episode miniseries. So the first miniseries is based on Morbius, as we know, who categorically proves that Joe Martin was the Doctor, as they say, relentlessly, right? So this is not the first time he's played Morbius. He also played him, I think, very well in Vengeance on Morbius, an 8th Doctor release. So look, I'll show you the cover. Yeah. I mean, this was such a great era for Doctor Who. So this was, wow, look how long ago. It was like 16 years ago.
Wow.
But yeah, I think I liked his portrayal of Morbius. It seemed interesting, original to fit. Fine. So Sammy West stars in the first release of the full cast audio drama, kicking off Dark Gallifrey, Big Finish Manus' new writer-led event series being in April 24. I like they say writer-led. I think that's something that hasn't been happening for a long time. The Tyrant Morbius plays an important role in the history of the Time Lords. His attempts to scrap their non-interference policy in favor of military conquest set Gallifrey in the First Civil War. Although Morbius was defeated and executed, it takes more than death to keep a bad Time Lord down for long. Here's the Doctor who's first encountered him, 72, blah, blah, blah. Then he came back. They brought Samuel West back in Vengeance of Morbius in 2008. Now West reprises the role of the warmongering despot in 3 brand new story audio adventures in the first trilogy in this epic Dark Galaxy. So let me ask you a question. I would have thought they would have started off with a much more established bad guy. This is kind of like he's had one appearance before, right? I would have thought they all start off with the Jeffrey Beavers Master series or some kind of like some much more recognizable person. Man, it's a shame that what's his name? Valiard just passed away.
Yeah, Michael Jaston. Yeah,
Michael Jaston. He would be. I love his voice. Oh,
in fact, logically, he would have been the ideal person or the ideal character to lead a range like this, to bookend a range like this.
Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, any Big Finish release he's in playing it's so worth it, right? I like saying it. So they finally released it info. It's first one's by Tim Foley. I think he's done good work, right? I think there's been a lot of very solid stuff coming. Yeah, let's have a quick look. So the work he's done. Doink. Hang on. Who's got another Once in Future coming up? Okay, we're going to look at the covers in a minute. Fine. So we did this Sontarans versus Rutons Children of the Future. Very good. You can't really blame him for what's the name of this companion? Audacity. Look, I guess the writer's got it right. That's a job he gave him. I haven't listened to a lot of these ones. Angels and Demons. Solitary Confinement was okay. Look, basically, the stuff he does, I don't hate. So that's not a block, right? The time has come at last for the last battle, Time Lord battleship, the Proteus, to leave the planet Karn and return to Gallifrey victorious. But her voyage home will not be easy. The captain is sick, the crew is restless, and there's dark forces lurking beneath the hull below. So that sounds like that Dracula, Voyage of the Demeter kind of thing going on in space. Yeah. Here's the trouble. Look at this fucking shockingly. I mean, this really makes me not want to buy it.
Yeah, it's
really awful, right? And it's like, oh look, it's lots of girl bosses. God, it looks awful. I don't know, but is it worth? No, apparently I already bought it. Right? Well, is it worth for saying no on this one?
Given that this is an experimental line that's got its own flavour, its own USP, it's obviously a big commitment they've made to put this stuff out. This is an ambitious pattern.
Right.
To go for covers that are forgettable at best, bloody awful at worst. This is more likely to put people off from buying them.
It's like it's really shocking.
And at a time as well, mate, where they've actually, in the last 18 months to 2 years, there's been more innovation with Big Finish covers than there have been in a long time. So they've got a lot of interesting artists doing some kind of left field things with some of the cover art on, for example, those multi-sets audio books, the Jacqueline Rayner one that's on about 10 discs. Some of the covers to those and the War Doctor series are kind of quite sketchy, and they use 3 or 4 colours. They're almost impressionistic, and that would be ideal for something like this, for something that's of its own, that's supposed to be of its own world. And so to just trump out generic Photoshop stuff like this, well, not and hardly the best examples of that kind of
bad
work.
Generic Photoshop. This looks like it was done in like the 1990s. It was so. I mean, this is the only cover that this is the same cover designer. This looks like somebody. Okay, so this Caroline Tankersley is finally getting the hang of it. Got a bit of Tom Baker in this apparently.
There's so much going on there. But
this is by far the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, by far the best one.
They're right. They're right to have Sam West. If you've got an actor like Sam West playing a part like Morbius, they're probably right to have him on the covers and to have him recognisable.
Yeah, but what the hell? I mean, like here, let's look at any other cover. Even the shit one, Classic Doctors, New Monsters. Look, this is better. They're all better.
Yeah, I think I quite like these.
Cover, by the way, I love this cover. Looking forward to this release.
You know what would help? What would help them, I think, is if I don't know how tightly bound they are by the style guide, but I think what would help them and the book range is if they were permitted to use the diamond logo or that logo, but not have it always be in blue. If they just use the whiteout one would probably help.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially Dark Gallifrey. You could do a dark one, a blood red one. But yeah, no, those covers are. I mean, look, compare this cover. This cover's awesome.
Really cool. Really beautifully done.
Yeah. Not I don't know.
Is it obligatory that there is a that's a black woman on every single one?
Because otherwise we're all racist, right? So fine, okay. So when the disaster strikes the Proteus, and this is part 2, Captain Argento and her crew must Can I have a male captain one fucking time? Must fight for their lives and the fate of all Time Lords. What is out there on the ice? Who hides the impossible temple? As losses shift and secrets emerge, the cult of Morbius lies in wait lies in wait to bring about the General's return. Okay, well, why haven't we had Samuel West in the Time War series? Right, it would have been that makes no sense. Morbius has been brought back to life in part 3 on the Isle of the Dead, but a desperate Captain Argento it sounds like it's about Captain R fucking Gento. Has called for their help and receives an unlikely ally. It's a stranger who knows Tyrant Old and the only one who can put his plans on ice. Perhaps even the Doctor can't stop the threat of Dark Gallifrey. Oh, I wish they had better track record. I've already ordered the first one.
Yeah, I think this sounds just this chunk of it with Sam West sounds pretty good. And
that's true.
And so their ambitions for Dark Gallifrey generally, I'd like to think it's going to deliver, but they've set themselves up. It's a bit of a tall order, and to deliver it they're delivering it all over a 2-year period, isn't it? It's not all this year. It's something that's going to roll on. So perhaps they will have time to create something that does feel and flow and end in an effective way. My fingers are crossed for them because I want Big Finish to endure and to continue. But I don't know. I think it'll depend on how quickly the second miniseries comes afterwards. If it arrives the next month,
it does. No, this is like a regular release now. So so talking about the experimental release. So let me just download this. Look, I hope this is going to be like this, right? Which I think is one of their big successes of the last few years. This Unbound series with an alternative War Doctor, an alternative Sixth Doctor War Doctor. Yeah, 1 second.
Oh no, I didn't buy this one. I've got all the other Unbound.
Oh no, this is really good, right? This is here. Let me show you the trailer. Good. It's really good because it's so incredibly inventive. Oh man, those covers really put me off.
I am not the man you know. Long ago, I ran away to explore, to interfere, to gaze at the wonder of eternity. I was there to right wrongs.
You notice that you very rarely get a trailer like this now, right? Very rarely.
There are a lot fewer.
Yeah.
To keep you alive. All that was gone. Long ago, I made a choice And I've lived with
Like, I love this TARDIS. This is a
Yes,
great
right.
TARDIS.
the consequences ever since. The loss of friends, the loss of worlds, the loss of the life I might have led. Someone has to pay. From every corner of the universe they come. My oldest foes, my one true constant. It's time for that constant to end. I am not here to help.
I mean, this is really great work. I'm like really impressed.
I am not here to rescue. I am here to exterminate. There will be a cost. There's always a cost. But if you can't take the consequences, then don't start the fight.
This is genuinely the best Colin Baker thing he's done in 10 years. Minimally.
I am not the Doctor. I am the warrior.
It's always in the Jodie logo.
And I will destroy them all.
Yeah, so I thought that was
Yeah.
very good.
I remember reading about that and thinking it just wasn't for me, but that trailer was fantastic, yeah.
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.